you know, two people crashing a plane into the World Trade Center.
Bush blamed it on.
Right?
Way more people that.
So Bush blamed it on.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
well,
what George
Bush is quite something else, you know. It really has nothing to do with like any religion or anything. It's just the luck of the draw, I guess.
Well,
I think we're trailing off a little.
yeah, Islam is not about killing people.
Yeah.
To be a true Muslim, I guess, it's to protect yourself first and protect other people. So I don't know about those Talibans.
Anyways, why do people do this? Why do people take action and, you know, just sit around and watch
For
it?
the right reasons.
Pardon?
For the right reasons.
So people want to take action because they obviously want to see a difference.
Right, which leads us to the convict again, right? He wanted to take action because reform you say, reform indeed, right? He wants to take action and change it. But what question I have, let's all reform. They must not quit. The golden rule. What is the golden rule? Does anyone know?
Law?
Is law the golden rule?
Is what?
Law.
Well, considering he broke the law, I don't think law would be it. I think I could be wrong.
Do any of you guys know what the gold?
Well, just reading the poem, I would assume the golden rule would be, you know, to stand up.
Yeah, stand up and protect.
Protect what you think is right. That's what I would think the golden rule is. I don't really think it has something to do with the law, considering he broke it, you know?
Yeah, I think that's very valid.
I personally think people would take action, like it is dangerous to read a newspaper. I personally think people don't take action either because they're scared to, or they feel like they wouldn't be able to make a difference. Like I know personally, you know, like I've had times where I'm like, oh, I want to do something about it. Like if I see a war, you know, children suffering or people suffering in general, I want to do something about it. But I just feel like I'm one person and I don't think I can make that big of a difference. So that's why I feel like maybe people are just hesitant to go and like, you know, and like sacrifice themselves for something that they don't believe they can do. Also for the convict about how he actually stood up for something. I just think that takes courage, and if it's a big enough reason and if it affects you that much, then yeah, I think that's a valid way to protect yourself and protect what you think is
I think people, like as you said, that they might not feel safe to stand up. So that's, I guess, one of the main reasons why.
So what you're saying is safety is a concern if you're trying to stand up to something?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta protect. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
You gotta protect yourself to help other people.
Yeah, and that can relate back to the golden rule.
His father.
That's a good connection, I'd say.
So back to the question, why do people? Well, I think it's pretty obvious at this point, as with the point in our discussion, is why do people either act or not act, right? People either act because either they're affected physically or emotionally, and they have a disregard for their own safety to act, or they are not affected physically and emotionally, or do fear their safety and that's why they do not. So I guess we're on what do we learn, right?
We learned that we learned that safety is an issue to stand up, and if it will hurt you, you will stand up to it. If you're like on the spot, and if you're bullied, as you said, you would stand up. But if it doesn't hurt you, but still you're emotionally involved, you might not do much about it. But it's concerning your safety and like, I forgot what I was going to say. Okay.
You know, so what I would say is maybe that people can learn that sometimes people try to take action, they see what they can do, but at the same time, it doesn't just take one person to overcome something bigger than what one person can do. Yeah.
So what we also learn is if you like believe in something and you want to make a difference, you should just go and help. And like when Majedah said, it doesn't take one person to make a change, but at least you tried, right?
I guess people do what they usually think is like best, or what they think is right. That's what they usually do.
What I learned from this is that if a problem is big enough and then if it obviously physically and emotionally affects you, then that's when you're pushed to the limit and you do something about it and you feel the need to do something about it. But say for example, if it's a war and you're just watching from afar, watching from the news, you feel bad. But in a way, you don't want to take on a challenge, or you feel like you're helpless and can't do anything because you can't take on a challenge that's bigger than you, that the world's facing. So I just feel like if you're physically and emotionally involved, that's when you take action. But if you're just emotionally involved, that's not a big enough reason for yourself to go and do something about it, or that's why you become hesitant.
So you're saying that if you're emotionally involved, you're not capable of changing?
No. If you're only emotionally involved, I feel like some people don't feel like that's a big enough reason to take action. If you're emotionally involved, like if you feel strongly about it, that's definitely sorry, I totally misinterpreted that. If you're emotionally involved, you can definitely take action as much as a person who's physically involved, I would say. If you feel really strongly about it, I'd say you could do a lot. But it's just like you're just hesitant because, if the topic of war, I know I personally don't think I can do anything about that. I mean, yeah.
So, any closing thoughts or?
Do you want to say anything?
No.
No? Okay.
We survived.